Cavel Vasia.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Living in a country like the UK is a privilege, some might say. Most people have shelter, food, medical care and basic needs to live a day-to-day life. Unfortunately, it's not the same for everyone having fled a war-torn country. Syrian refugees are amongst the people who have little, if not nothing. And although there are over 150 Syrian refugees who have resettled in Nottinghamshire, there are still thousands in European countries needing aid. And that's exactly how Hamzah Ashraf wants to help. He joins me now here in the studio. How exactly can people help?
So basically, I mean, we help by giving our time, we help by giving our money, we help by showing our sympathy and empathy for people who are in very difficult situations. And it's just the average public, you know, the average innocent father, husband, wife, child, grandmother, grandfather, who, you know, they've come from, some of them, very wealthy backgrounds.
Sure.
You know, they're not poor people as such. They're not beggars. They were never, you know, the Syrian people are very honourable people, and you know they don't like to take things. From my experience, they don't like to take things even if they need something.
Right.
So for them to be put in this situation, in a situation of war, is obviously the effects of war are is very sad.
Now, Hamzah, you were in Turkey last year.
Yeah.
Weren't you? I mean, what was the scene like when you went to visit Turkey?
I mean, so we went to South Turkey
Yeah.
in Reyhanli, and the charity has a setup there where, you know, we provide aid to local Syrians. So there's roughly about 80,000 refugees in that area. We delivered aid to, you know, refugee camps, as well as there were drop-off points, for example, a school where, you know, families would know they were vetted before we give the aid to know that they are, you know, in receipt of charity, just to make sure the wrong people don't get hold of, you know, too much aid, etc. So we would drop off the food parcels at the points, and we would meet the people directly, and we would physically give them 40 kgs of food. And the situation is very bad. You know, people would be queuing up for hours, you know, 6-7 hours in you know, boiling hot weather, you know, waiting in a queue just to get this 40 kgs of food, you know.
I kind of can sense from your body language a little bit, Hamzah. I mean, how did the trip affect you?
It was emotional. I mean, it's the first time I've ever done any aid work. It's the first time I've ever seen, you know, the effects of war and, you know, the effects of people being in a very, very difficult situation. And, you know, it was very upsetting, you know, seeing, you know, grown men, you know, standing in a line, you know, waiting, you know, for these food parcels. But then, you know, it was so humbling as well, knowing that you could be there to make a change, and, you know, just to put a smile on the children's faces when you give them a packet of sweets that you brought from England, or, you know, it warms your heart just to know that you made a difference, you know, to one of their days in their lives. So it was a very humbling experience, and it was a good eye opener to, you know, feel honoured that what we have living in the UK and living in Nottingham, and, you know, being able to work, etc.
Taking things for granted here.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people take a lot of things for granted, whether it's health, whether it's wealth, whether it's having a roof over your head, whether it's having food in your mouth. So it's humbled me, and it's opened my eyes to want to help humanity more.
Is that why you want to go back there again, Hamzah?
Yes, that's the main reason is to, I mean, the war has not ended, you know, and God knows when it's going to end. So, I mean, the only thing, I mean, it's a drop in the ocean what me personally I'm doing, but, you know, every little helps towards whatever we can do, whether you can change one person's life, you know, that's such a big thing, and such a big drive for myself to be able to know that I could help that one person.
Because I heard somewhere many years ago is the fact that we can't help the world but the fact that hundreds of people, if they can help one person, that's enough for that person. I mean, how'd you plan to make this trip happen again then?
So basically, we're going with a group of male and females. So there's a group of people that go with a
Right.
charity. It's called SKT Welfare. So they've organised a deployment to go to the south of Turkey, and they have people out there. They have it very organised. You know, everything's very organised and controlled. So obviously, we collect the money from here, for example, and then we go and use that money which we've collected to pack food parcels. So the first 2-3 days, so it's a 7-day trip. So the first 2-3 days, you normally pack maybe 3,000 boxes of food. This is what we did last year.
Sure.
So you're doing 16-hour days. It was blistering heat. We had no conveyor belts. It's very tiring work. Once we had done that, you then deliver them physically. So you would go to local villages, etc., and we would go and deliver the food parcels.
But like you say, you're there for a week, you're there for 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and you can come back to the comfort of your own
exactly. Yeah.
house. But those people are there for we don't know how long for. I mean, how can people find out more than Hamzah about what you're actually doing?
They can find out more. I mean, the charity has a website. It's www.skt.org.uk. You can have a look on the charity's website. I'm also raising money through Just Giving. So I have a Just Giving page set up.
Sure.
The name is Hamzah Ashraf 2017 under the fundraising section.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a lot of charities doing different things, but I think this journey is unique in the sense that you collect the money from friends and family here and employees, etc. I mean, my employers are very supportive. They actually are putting match funding towards my target that I raise, which increases the target that I'm going for. And then having raised the money and then going and actually delivering the money is something different. It's a very unique experience and a very humbling experience.
Okay.
So.
All right, Hamzah Ashraf, thank you very much for coming here and telling us about all the work that you're actually doing in regards to Syrian refugees. Good luck with everything, and hopefully when you actually do come back from your trip, then we'll talk more about it. Thank you very much.
Can I mention one last thing?
Of course you can, yeah.
I would like to finish on a quote that is from the famous boxer Muhammad Ali, the late Muhammad Ali. He mentions, and this is something that's really inspired me, he mentions that the service you do for others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. And I think that's a very, very strong thing, the service that you do to others.
Wise words.
Yeah, very wise words.
The interview. Thank you.